a sneaker store called Simon's on Pickett Avenue in Brooklyn in Brownsville. I worked at Manufacturers Hanover Trust as a bank teller. And I used to see these young kids come into the bank to do cash deposits on a regular basis. They didn't wear the new sneakers like we were wearing, but their father owned the sneaker store. And they came in and they made these deposits. And it tripped me out. So I started talking to them, and I realized that that's what they were doing. Depositing everything they made, any birthday money, anything money that they received, they were depositing it into savings accounts. They weren't coming out and using it, using the ATM or anything like that. They were growing their wealth, growing their savings. And it fascinated me because it was totally different than everything that me and people that look like me who are in the neighborhoods shopping in their parents' stores doing. So kind of made me realize that there was a miseducation there when it came to finances, and I wanted to undo that, unlearn what I learned, and relearn what people who were wealthy were doing with their money and how they were teaching their children. So as I got older, opportunities presented itself for me to work with the public. So I started hearing a lot of people's stories. As I got older, I worked in collections, hearing stories, horror stories about things that was happening to people when they didn't have things structured properly, when they didn't have the proper protections in place. And it made me realize that it was because they didn't know any better. It wasn't that they were stupid or ignorant or couldn't grasp the concept. Once they were exposed to it, they didn't know. And culturally, we don't talk, or we didn't talk about finances the way that we should. We may talk about how to acquire something that you need to save for, but we don't talk about how to protect things long term and how to set yourself up for the future. I was an emancipated minor at 16. It didn't make any sense to me to put money aside for a 401k. For what? For when I'm how old? Now I'm 55. It makes all the sense in the world to me. I wish I had listened more, right? Okay, so the reason I'm giving you a little bit of my background is so that you can recognize that I'm a resource because of my experiences and how I position myself. Being an insurance person, working in collections, and not just collections, I was garnishing checks and putting liens on people's properties and bank accounts and things like that. So I had to really dig in and understand what got them here, and from the bank's perspective, what I needed to do to help them or help the bank, right? So I was always in that position. And so educating myself about the laws and what rights these lenders had made me take that information, position myself as a resource for my community so I could use all of this knowledge and experience that I have to help somebody. Because it's not, we're such intelligent, brilliant people, but if you don't know, you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So getting into, going from, transitioning from being an collections person, horrible experiences, listening to these things that I had to do to people because of their lack of planning or what have you. I got into the insurance business after that. A lot of what Shonda talked about, I saw firsthand as well. And then going into the mortgage business, I realized that, wow, like we really need help. We need more of us here in these industries to help educate. Like Shonda, I had a story early on of a person who purchased a home, had a family, had young children who were teenagers, and then a death happened. And if you've ever gone through the process of purchasing a home, you know that it requires a lot. Your credit score has to be a certain amount. Your debt to income has to be a certain amount. Everything has to be structured to get you in these positions where you can get approved for this property and go through underwriting successfully. When you pass away without having your things in order, the people who are expected to stay and maintain that home will then have to go through the exact same thing that you went through to get qualified for that home. And so if you don't have that in place, then yeah, there's a problem because You could lose your home. They could lose their home when the person, the breadwinner, the person whose name is on the mortgage passes away. Most people hear about PMI, which is private mortgage insurance, which is the insurance that your lender requires you to get on your mortgage to protect them in the event that you pass away or unemployed or unable to repay them for whatever the reason is. That PMI, you're required to pay that if you're putting down less than 20% when you're purchasing your home. And then once you acquire 20% of equity, then that insurance drops off. It strictly protects the lender, does nothing for you. Same way your employer gives insurance on you when they hire you to protect them. You and your family don't benefit from that. A lot of people don't even realize their employees even have insurance on them. So PMI, the one that's mandatory, that you cannot close on your home without having, that's a benefit you and yours. Now, MPI, which is mortgage protection insurance, totally different animal. That's for you and your family. Technically, all it is life insurance. It's life insurance that you designate for the purpose of paying off your mortgage. Your insurance agent knows that you have a mortgage. Your insurance agent knows what your monthly expenses and debts are. Your insurance agent knows what your mortgage balance is, and with all that information, they help you calculate how much insurance you need. Now, the thing about life insurance is you can't just go buy life insurance. You have to qualify for life insurance. So it is important that you get with someone like myself, any reputable insurance producer or agent. I prefer producer number one because I'm a producer number two because I'm not locked to one specific company. My job is to find the insurance that will approve you in your situation. It can be costly, yes, but it's costly when you put insurance on your car, your phone, and everything else too. But when you need it, whew, it doesn't matter how much it costs because you needed it and it did what you needed it to do and it came through for you. But when you need it and you don't have it, that's a different beast, right? So that's when you know who your friends are and all that good stuff. So now that I told you a little bit about me and let you know that I'm a pretty good resource for things related to insurance and mortgages, I want to know if there's any questions that you may have or any scenarios that you've heard of that you want to talk about, any myths, any misunderstandings or anything like that I can help you with, or any questions that I can help